y'all, how y'all doing? This is Lyne't with the Lyne't Gray Show here on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, Kansas City's first global community radio station. You're most likely listening to the Lyne't Gray Show here on KUAW on Facebook. But you can also listen uninterrupted, because sometimes Facebook acts a fool, y'all, like it's doing on my phone right now. It's just spinning. You can listen uninterrupted on KUAW Spacebar Radio on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So today we have a topic. This is so funny, because every time I tell someone I'm going to Africa, and they're like, oh, you're going for a relationship. And actually, I'm going to be healed because I got a very grave diagnosis in September of 2021. And so the medicine that I was taking was making me worse. It was making things worse, the prescriptions. And I started out with one prescription, then they doubled it, and then they added to it. And by the time they got done, when you look on my patient portal, I have 7 prescriptions. I kept feeling bad. I was feeling worse. I stopped them all. So the trip that I was supposed to take last year in May, I'm now taking that trip this May. I put the trip off, and I feel like I would have never gotten sick had I have put that trip first, because I would have been over there, and you have no other choice over there but to take care of your health. But I put money first. And I ain't even gonna lie, the money was good, and it was almost worth it until I blew all of my money on my health care. So yeah, the bank account looked real good until you have to pay for your own health care, because your insurance, your job, and your whole insurance that I had was tied up between my job and my union were beefing. And the job didn't want to pay the union for the fringe, because the union owed the job for apprentices that they trained. And here we are stuck in the middle. Myself and another driver was paying out of pocket, even though we had insurance. And he was actually paying Cobra, which is even worse, because he was paying Cobra all that money and he had insurance. We both had insurance. But the one thing that we are under the impression of is that when you go to the doctor, they're supposed to see you for free. That's not the case. That's not the truth. You can go to the doctor the first time for free, and then once they get that bill, they can tell you, no, you have to pay us this amount, pay off this lab, pay off this before we see you again. And so you have to continue. You can go to the ER for free as many times as you want, but just a regular doctor's visit, you can't. So now that I got all that out, explaining to y'all the reason why I'm going, we're going to talk about scamming, because something happened today that blew me away. Well, not happened today. It was happening for the last 2 or 3 weeks, but it blew me away. But I realized that it's not just Americans getting scammed. Scammers are everywhere, and scammers come from everywhere, and scammers scam people everywhere. So we're going to get on the subject of scamming. And the first thing I want to tell people is, I'm not going to mention who told me, but someone who admitted to me that they used to be a scammer, and they got a bunch of their wealth because they did scamming. That person admitted that to me. He gave me like the protocol. And the protocol is normally, if you're a woman, you got to be plus size. Well, not necessarily plus size, but bigger than what you're normally supposed to be. Divorced or single, single parent or solo parent, and over the age of 35. So that's for women. For men, they was like, you can scam a man easily, because all you got to do is put up a bunch of, unsavory, that's what I will say, that has nudity pictures, and send him that stuff, and he won't even request a video chat. He'll just be sending you money. Men, y'all gotta stop. Just get control of it. So now that we got the information down of what they look for, because there's no specific race, there's no specific nationality. I know a man who said he got scammed by a woman from the UK. Back in the 2015, he was from Ghana, and he sent her like 14,000 US dollars. He had worked in the UK, he worked in Germany, all of that. And that was back before, everybody was really using WhatsApp, and I don't think Facebook had video. And so he's doing all this talking, and he's sending her cards, and then she kept asking, saying she need money, had situations. She scammed him out of $14,000. And this is a Ghanaian man. And so when people talk about scamming, the sad part about it is people just only assume that it's African people scamming others, when in all actuality, it's just thieves stealing, lying and stealing. One of the things that he said was done to him was, she was always talking about how she didn't have money for rent, or her car note was late, or her child's daycare was having these issues. So here's the first thing that I'm not even going to say who he is, because then y'all might be able to pinpoint. But here's the first thing that he taught me about scamming. He said, how are they making it before they met you? So you should not give in to someone who says, I need your money for this, or I don't. He said one of the first things that they do to see if they can get money out of you is tell you that they don't have money for their video chats for their phone bill. So if you give in to that, and most of us over here think, oh, phone bill, what, $90, $100, $70, $80. So we'll send them that much. And that's like a mint. You done sent them 6 months worth of phone bill, but you're sending it once a month. A lady in the group said that her mother had to tell her, don't send a man, no $500 a month, send $100. But like I told her, I was told to ask, how were they making it before they met you? So why does he even need $100 a month from you? The men too, why do those people, men and women sending money, ask yourself, why do they need money from you? How were they making it before they met you? So that's number one. The biggest thing that I will say that comes with the scamming, not just the money, people got to stop, number one, looking for something for nothing. Okay, I have several Facebook friends who no longer have control of their Facebook page because of some Cash App scam that says something about like you can win a certain amount, or I'm feeling generous, Cash App me. And so the people send their information in because people are looking for something for nothing. And they, oh yeah, send me some money, send me some money. And then the person says, well, send me your Cash App. And so what I found out, because several people reached out to me because they're trying to figure out how to get their information locked down, how to get their pages back, all of this is what they're going to do. So we're going to talk about the Cash App and all of that PayPal scam. We're going to go over a whole scamming show today. I want y'all aware. So from what I've heard, it ain't happened to me, praise God, because I don't think nothing's for free. I'll be wondering if somebody, if they trying to track me or something by my information. But the Cash App scam, you send them your Cash App, they put the money in holding or something. I don't know because I haven't done it, but some kind of way you can see that the money is pending to get to you. So then they require that you send your driver's license to prove that you are who you are. And those people are actually sending their driver's license to whoever is on the other side. Now, here's how they get you. They done got the driver's license out of the people before you. So when you say, I need your driver's license, you see it on that person's page. They send you a driver's license and they send you a video that they made those people pre-record and say, yes, this is real. Go on ahead and send the money. Yes, this is real. This is how you get the Cash App scammers. Don't send them nothing. If they got your Cash App and they say, okay, you say, I need you to video chat me. That you're on Facebook. And I literally, someone got one of my cousins, and I don't know her actual telephone number because she's the cousin on my dad's side, and we just Facebook friends. I never really, became family to where we exchanged numbers. And they posted this on her page, and I was telling everybody, this is a scam. Do not send them your information. Don't do this. Don't do that. So whoever has control of her page came in my inbox and said, this ain't a scam and this, that, and the other. I said, oh, really? If it's not a scam, then who am I to you? They couldn't answer, but they sent me a video of her saying, y'all, this ain't a scam. It's real. The money's real. You do get the money. So I said, okay, well, since you sent me the video, I want you to video chat me on Facebook. They refused to do it. And I kept saying, video chat me on Facebook. They sent me a copy of her ID. I don't care about a copy of her ID. Video chat me on Facebook. They refused to do it, and then they blocked me. So they have all of your information, and they're able to trick people into believing that it's really you behind this whole Cash App scam on your page. They are then taking that information because people are wanting something for nothing. I was always taught there is never in this earth, on this world, something for nothing. You have to do something in order to get something from somebody. And people don't part with money. No, not unless it's a heartfelt story and you got this whole movement of video and TV behind you and stats, and everybody wants to send you a Cash App gift. But they're not going to ask for your information. They're just going to say, what's your GoFundMe or what's your Cash App? Okay, so now they have control of your identity. They then go into your Cash App and change your bank accounts information, all of that. So all of the money that's coming in, they ask you to send a certain, from what I'm understanding, y'all who've been scammed, y'all might know, y'all might not even be on Facebook unless you open another page. But y'all might know, y'all might not know. I think they ask you to send a certain amount of money in order to get some money back. I'm not sure, but I just know that they have your information, your driver's license. Someone said they requested her social security number and she sent it in because they told her it was over, because it was over $600, they have to report it as a 1099. And so they wanted her social security number, and they got her social security number. So then here's what happens. They have all of your information. They lock you out of your Cash App. They lock you out of your Facebook. And when Facebook says, tell me that it's really you, prove to me that it's really you, they're sending in your ID in order to hold on to your Facebook. Many of the people, I was reading up on different scams, because we're going to talk about all the scams tonight. I was reading up on different scams, and many of the people who have gone through the Cash App scam are going through what they call the unemployment scam, where you're still working. And if you live in a state that's not like Missouri, Missouri don't want to give you 2 pennies to rub together, let alone rightfully give you unemployment. They not going to give you unemployment illegally, let alone rightfully give you unemployment. But what they're doing is taking people's information and filing for unemployment. And then, hey, Ms. Walker, they're taking people's information, they're filing for unemployment, and then they're collecting unemployment in the employee's name while the person is still working. While they're still working, they're collecting unemployment in that person's name. So now you have someone who's collecting a paycheck, and then according to the state, they're collecting an unemployment check. Now, I don't know how they're getting the money. Maybe they're doing a direct deposit. I don't know how they're getting the unemployment. That unemployment one, that is like an elaborate thing, because like I owed unemployment because of the pandemic, because they even admitted on a piece of paper that they mistakenly approved me for unemployment. And so then they waived all the money they claimed that I owed for the federal government subsidy part. But the state of Missouri is like, yeah, even though we mistakenly approved you, you still owe us money. So I'm not sure how these people are getting these checks. I don't know, but this woman is having the death of time trying to fix this unemployment situation, and she has nothing to do with it. They do know that it's a scam, though. The government does know, but they're still not letting her out of it. So that being said, and like I said, this show is about scamming. I need everyone to understand when people send you, do not click on those texts that you get, because I get them all the time. The texts that say, your account was updated, or here's your receipt for this, that, and the other. Just delete it. Just delete it. Don't click on that stuff. Even if it's from a legitimate company, don't click on it, delete it, go straight to that company's website and log in, unless you're standing at the cash register. Like, I have some receipts that come right to me, and I swipe and I'm standing at the cash register. I look at it, click on it. When it comes through, I click on the text and send it to my email and delete the text. But normally, if it comes through in text, it comes through in email as well. They'll spoof your bank. If you get an email from your bank saying click on this and it's not something that you requested, don't click on it. Go to your bank account, or go to I always go incognito online. I go to my bank account, and then I pull up my bank account, see what they say, see if it's in my mail or my notes or any of that. If it's not, I go back and report it as spam. The only thing you can do is just keep throwing all my bank stuff in my spam email. You get what I'm saying? But you want to make sure that you protect your identity, and people will track you on your phone. But we're going to get to that later when we start talking about the romance scams. So now that you've got that, the email spoofing and the text messages, and y'all, please be careful, because every time you see this Cash App thing, and they're going to send you a video of the person's Facebook page. That's the video the person sent before they were locked out of their page. You have to tell them, I want you to video chat me. They're not going to do it. Like, they literally blocked me from my distant cousin's page. So then you got that. This is one that's gotten me and my son, and I know who's doing it, and I'm going to turn you in as soon as I can prove it. Someone is doing some kind of scam where they're buying cars. If they have your social security number, they're buying new cars in your name. But then, and it shows up that you own this car. Because when I went to go buy my car, they kept saying, well, they said you got to trade in the 2020 that you already got. I said, 2020 I already got? I called an Uber here. What are you talking about? I don't have a 2020. They're like, it shows right here on your credit that you have a 2020. I was approved for a 2020, and I actually signed for it and took it off the lot. So then I asked them to go deeper into it, and I'm like, I don't have a car. I need y'all to go deeper into this. My son called me when he was coming back from South Korea because he was buying a car for his wife while he was over there. And he said, Mama, did you get a car in my name? I said, no. Why would I get a car in your name? I said, why would I do that? I don't do that to my kids. Why would I do that? He said, because somebody bought a Chrysler in my name. And this was in 2019. It was a 2019 Chrysler. And I'm like, how could somebody buy a Chrysler in your name and you didn't? And he didn't know. And his wife, of course, didn't do it. I didn't do it. He didn't do it. Well, then it had turned around and happened to me last year in 2021 when I was buying my vehicle. And they were like, no, you already have a 2020. And this is Enterprise, the car sales. And I'm like, no, I don't. And I'm telling this man, I called an Uber here. I do not have a car to turn in. And when he said it, I said, that happened to my son in 2019. I know who did it. And I told them, and I said, now go in there and look real good. Ask the people for the documents. Ask them for everything. And they told me, they said, don't worry about it. Don't worry. Because I told them the story about what happened. They said, don't worry about it. We went on ahead, signed the paperwork, and I took the car. I don't know what came of it. So that's another scam that people are doing, is they're buying cars in your name. So I need everyone to literally be very, very careful with your information. Very careful with your information. I have 2-factor authentication on my phones, on all of my accounts, but I also change my passwords often. And my passwords are things that I've never shared with anybody. So God forbid, should something happen to me, ain't nobody gonna be able to get in none of my accounts. Not a single one. Because my passwords are stuff that I think up throughout the day. And I'll be like, oh, that's a good password. So unless you're in my head, you wouldn't know what my password is. So in that's in protecting your identity. Make sure you go online and you pull your credit report and you monitor your credit report. Please do, because if you don't, you're very likely someone's gonna put something on your credit, like someone bought a car in my and my son's name. I know who it is, but we just can't prove who it is. But anyways, so now we're gonna get to the LDR situation. And it's 8:30, so that's perfect timing. First things first. To stop from being scammed, you have to first tell yourself that you are making an intentional decision to perform the action of sending someone money that you do not have. You have to tell yourself, I am making an intentional decision of intentional actions to send someone money that I do not have. And this is what I mean by money that you do not have. If a scammer got you for $14,000, you're supposed to have 3 times that amount in your bank account. If a scammer got you for $100, you're supposed to have 3 times that amount in your bank account. This is money that you do not have to send. A millionaire can get scammed, like they scammed all them corporations, and the corporations didn't find out that they were scammed for real, until like something menial happened. And they was like, oh, but they had been paid out all them millions of dollars. They had it to give. You don't. So the first things first is accountability, self-accountability. That's the first thing. It's very easy for an elderly person or a disabled person to get scammed. So that's why I'm doing this show, is for them. But there are those of us who are my age and younger who are not elderly. You're not disabled in any way. You're just hard-headed and don't want to listen. After this show, I'm removing your excuses talking about you've been scammed. So here's the thing. You met this person online. Remember. Or you met them here in the United States. How were they making it before they met you? For real talk, how were you paying your cell phone bill before you met me? How were you even on data in another country? Because they don't have unlimited. How were you even on data? How could you even afford that much data to be online? Because Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and all that drains the data. So how could you afford that? So that's the first question you want to ask. The second question you want to ask. Now you got to listen for, and I would have people come in and okay, here's another one. I'm just about to blow the game wide open. When a man starts sending you sweet nothings, or the woman starts sending you sweet nothings, copy the entire message. Paste it in Google and watch where they got it from. Copy the message. If it's like, oh, this is so sweet, copy the message, paste it in Google, and you'll see where they got the message from. If their message came from anywhere online and you can read it, block them and don't go back, because it's a scam. Now, here's the thing. We cannot call everyone a scammer, because people assume because of a region or an area that people are scammers. The scammers ask you for money, or the scammers try to force you to sign papers. Here's the rules, and this is how you eliminate scamming. You don't send money, and you don't put your signature on nothing. Nothing. If you meet a foreigner here in the United States, and they're here and they have a green card, but they're not naturalized citizens, and you're afraid of being scammed, only a naturalized citizen is who you should date. Period. I don't care where they're from. If they're a naturalized citizen and they can show you their USA blue passport, it's okay to date them. But still, don't be giving them money. How are they making it? I mean, it's the U.S. They can get a job. They can get 3-4 jobs. Amazon loves hiring foreigners. So we have to start using common sense. We really do. We have to start using a lot of common sense. Now, here's the thing. Not everyone is a scammer, and not everyone from another country is out to get something from you. The amazing thing about my relationship, I was like, I don't sign papers, I don't do this, any other. He was like, first off, at first he was like, oh, thank you, it's nice to meet you. And I guess he finally read what I said, and he came back with a whole read. He read me seriously and let me know, you do not disrespect me. I never asked you for nothing. I don't need nothing from you. And I suggest you get to know me before you start talking crazy to me. I was like, okay. I mean, because I was disrespectful. Everybody who reached out to me in my inbox, completely disrespectful, whether you're American or not, because I felt like anybody reaching out to women in their inbox is on some other stuff. But I finally learned that that's not the case. And there are people who don't believe in getting money out of people, and who literally cannot come to the U.S. because of their businesses that they have in Ghana. They don't have nobody to run their businesses that they can trust. So they have to stay in Ghana to run their businesses. That's what the man I'm with, my fiance, that he can't just leave and come to the U.S. because he's got businesses and parents that he has to take care of. Physically, he's the caregiver for his father who has Alzheimer's dementia. So they don't have home health care over there. It's the family who is taking care. And his dad don't listen to nobody but him. So if he's to come to the U.S., that man could probably come up missing. He could get sick. He wouldn't want to go to the hospital, things like that. So, but that's all about the main thing, taking your time and getting to know people. We've been talking for 2 years. Ladies, here's another one. Ladies and men. And I'm going to tell y'all a story that happened, and I'm off of it with trying to help this man because he don't want to listen. But ladies and men, if they can only talk to you a certain time of day, they got somebody. If they cannot go, well, no, I'm not even going to say that, because y'all, you just got to listen to God for real. Because, okay, I was going to say, if they can't talk to you while they're going to sleep in their bed talking to you, then they are married or they got somebody. But I actually had someone who fooled me. He wasn't trying to scam or anything. He just was trying to have a girlfriend, and him and his wife ain't getting along. And he lives downstairs in this whole built out apartment in the bottom of his house. And I'm talking to this man, and he's going to sleep, and I'm driving while he's going to sleep. And I'm like, so how was I still talking to you and I knew you were asleep? This don't make sense. And I was thinking, was he talking to me while he's in the bed? And then come to find out, people get upset, and instead of divorcing because they have children, they'll move into different parts of the house. And so that's what I want you all to understand. I was going to say, if you can't talk to him till he's asleep, but that's the truth though. The main truth is, when you call him, he always got to call you back. Or when you text him, he sends you a picture. Or when you never get that, you call him when you know he's asleep and he don't answer the phone. Or you call him right around bedtime and he don't answer the phone. Or when he gets home from work, he don't answer, or she don't answer. They have someone, y'all. They have someone. I'm sorry. And I hate to tell you like that, and I hate to break your heart, but they have someone. And don't believe that they work certain places, but they need your money. They don't need your money if they work. Their country is not like ours. Foreign countries are not built on debt. And those who have people in the U.S., there's a situation that, like I said, on Facebook, and I just quit. I don't even feel sorry for him no more, because he put up that he flew a lady in. They had been talking for 7 months. They want to get married, this and the other. He flew the lady in. He been whining and dining her and taking her all over Ghana and all this good stuff. The lady, every time he came home from work, she didn't cook, she didn't do nothing. He thought she's always on Facebook. Come to find out, she's always on Instagram, trying to be like a an influencer. She's posting all her stuff that she's doing in Ghana. Well, he and her she started yelling and cussing and fussing at him and going off and cussing him out or whatever when he told her that she needed to cook or whatever. And she was, being disrespectful. Come to find out, she got very disrespectful. So he posted on Facebook, he was like, what do I do? How do I deal with African-American women? We was like, she over there for a good time. She ain't over there. You might as well cancel her ticket and tell her go back home, because she literally is just there for the fun. Make her find her own way back home. So he listened to us. He canceled the ticket. Well, come to find out, and he was like, well, he was going to like pay for her to move an apartment, get away from him till she can get her money from her family. Apartment, hotel, whatever, till she can get her money from her family to get back to the U.S. Come to find out, the woman has a man. She called her man. Her man patched her a ticket, or got her ticket back to the U.S. So the fiance in Ghana helped her pack up all her stuff and dropped her off at Kotoka Airport. He got scammed. He worked in the U.S. for 3 years, saved his money, went back to Ghana because his contract is over with. So he's in Ghana, and he knows his company's going to call him back and do another contract. But right now, in between contracts, he's in Ghana. He got scammed by an American. And he wined and dined her. He bought her amazing things. They were going around planning the wedding, getting the rings together. He got scammed by an American. And she literally should be on her way back to the U.S. right now. Just that quick. And she blocked, when she got into the airport, she blocked him. But some of the people on our thread, some of the ladies, you know how black women, we part of the FBI, we asked him what her Instagram page was. They went to her Instagram page and liked her page and saw that she was thanking her man for flying her back now that her self-care solo trip is over with. And on her page, she only puts pictures of her plates and the building. But if you look at her page, it seems as though she's really truly solo in it. But he has the actual pictures, because he's taking pictures of her in all of those locations. On all of the different tours that they took, he's taking pictures of her. He's the one taking the pictures. And then they took pictures together. Well, with his phone. Well, she's on her phone. It just looks like it's just her. So, needless to say, a Ghanaian man got scammed by an American man. Now, this is the reason why I say, I'm done with the whole situation, because like he actually had a lady who worked at the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria inbox him information on how to report the woman, how to handle this situation. And all he's concerned with, because the ladies went to her page and found her shout out to her man and hope he's ready. And so they sent the information to him. All he's concerned with is letting her man know that she was there with him. He's not concerned with reporting this scammer. And so that's the next thing I want to get to is, if you were scammed in any way, why don't you report them? That should be your first thing. I don't care how much you love somebody. If they scammed you, report them, because then they get on the radar of the government, and the government can deal with their passports, and the government can say, no, you can't leave. They get stopped at the airport, and the government's like, no, you can't leave because we're watching you for scamming. You possibly part of a scamming ring. So that's the thing about it. The next thing I want to tell the women who are marrying foreign men, I'm a Christian, and people can get mad if they don't like it, but I am. And the order that I've seen for every religion is whatever God you worship, and then your Messiah or your prophet or whatever, and then the man, and then the woman. That's the order. So if the man is supposed to be head of the woman, then why are the women sending men money, taking care of the men, when he's supposed to be the leader? You're supposed to follow the leader. You're only the helpmeet. And the helpmeet literally just like gives ideas and writes down information, kind of like a secretary. Secretary don't put money into the business. So when you take over, you're sending him money, you're paying for things for him, you're doing everything that he should be doing for you. Essentially, you try to put yourself here. See how that ain't working? My fingers won't do it. You see how messed up that is? It don't work. It don't work. So if you're a woman and he's requiring money of you, he essentially, if I can't respect the man who I'm sending my money to because he needs it, I'm going to start talking to you like you are my 17-year-old son and less than him because he works and don't ask me for a dime. I respect him. I won't respect you as a man. I won't. Because you're requiring, that is, to me, you have stepped in the position of his mother, not his wife. So then if he's the leader of the family, leaders show you what you are to do. All leaders show you what you are to do. So if you're with a man and you're marrying a foreign man, why are you signing papers for him to come to the U.S. when he ain't got you your citizenship, land, and bank accounts in his country? Because leaders show you what to do. A man is the head of the household. That means a man knows how to cook. He knows. And I remember my daddy teaching me this because my daddy could do our hair. He could shampoo our hair and press our hair and put curls in it with the Marcel irons off the stove. And then he bought my mom a plug-in stove iron and he would watch cable and do our hair. And my daddy used to say, and my uncle who helped raise me, they always said, I can do everything a woman can do. I don't need a woman to do those things for me, but I love it when she does. But they could cook, they could clean, they could wash clothes. Of course, they get their own money. They could do hair. Everything a woman can do, they can do. So a leader shows you, the head of the household shows you what he wants done. And that doesn't mean he has to come in and clean and you just sit back and keep watching him clean. But what I'm saying is, if he's the husband, how are you marrying a man and you're leaving his country and you don't have a residency permit and you don't have your citizenship application put in simultaneously, the both of them? How are you filling out paperwork with UCIS and paying fees for him to come here and you don't have your passport to his country? How are you stressing out over making sure a man gets here and he didn't even make sure that you as his wife owns just a small patch of land that you can build a small house on in your name in his country with your bank account? See, this is where I'm learning from being in these groups and I'm spilling the tea. A lot of women get offended at this information. I had a woman say, after I put up a video in another group, and I do have a group that I coach people on LDR relationships. I know so many foreign men, and I've had 2 of them now. They were both very, very honest with me. But I had a lady who had been married to her husband for 30 years. Now, after 30 years, he definitely ain't scamming her. He ain't scamming. But she said, I never thought about me having citizenship to his country. And he never mentioned it, and I wonder why. I said, because men don't think that deep. I said, that man married you, you brought him over here, and he was like, I got a wife to take care of, and she got kids, and we're going to have another baby, and I got to work. I said, he didn't think that deep. He didn't. Some of the men think that deep, and they're trying to get you to bring them over here so that they can get, some men hold on till they get that naturalization, and then they walk from you. Some walk at the 10 years. A couple of them, they so stupid. They walking as soon as they get in here, just as dumb as they want to be. They also have another scam where the men will lie and say the women assaulted them. domestic violence. Then the UCIS and immigration comes to his rescue and his aid. They file felony charges. Men and women are lying on their U.S. spouse. UCIS comes to them, comes to their aid. They call the police. The police get there, file the charges against the spouse. UCIS then comes to the immigrant spouse who is considered the victim. They get them to a safe space, and in doing that, they get naturalized because they were abused by someone who the U.S. government trusted to bring them here and take good care of them. And in doing that, the U.S. citizens get their records ruined because of lies. And so that's the reason why I tell people that you got to follow it. Here's the thing, and this is my rule. You can't have 2 passports if I can't. And that's the truth. And I'm not going to be the type that you get me mine and I don't want to, because I don't marry to divorce. I got divorced after 17 years and I was like, I'll never get married again if I ever have to divorce. So I don't marry to divorce. But there's another thing that I need Americans to do and to understand, and that is the marriage traditions. And it's 8:51, y'all, and I'm so sorry that I started so late. I was out working, but there are marriage traditions and you need to know each and every one. You need to go to that country. Here's the thing, and this is what I tell everybody. Don't marry nobody that you haven't lived with for at least 90 days because you might not like them. So if you can't live with him for 90 days, just don't even date overseas. Get somebody in your city. It's plenty of any type of immigrant that you would like to date is already here in the U.S. and they're single. So please know that. But ladies, I need y'all to stop stepping out of order. If he's the husband, he's going to make sure you got everything done in his country, because unlike the U.S., you can be married to a foreigner, and if you're not a citizen of that person's country, when they pass away, they don't even acknowledge you. Majority of the time, if it's a tribal type country, you don't get nothing, no way. Everything goes back to his family. So you as his wife, he needs to set you up immediately after you marry. He needs to make sure you have land, the wife and the husband. They need to make sure that you legally have your citizenship so you can legally buy land, so you can legally have bank accounts. So should something happen to them, their family is going to determine how much you get, because you don't get none of their stuff over there if it's tribal. That's all theirs. Everything over here is yours. Everything over there, they building and doing grand stuff, that belongs to the family. And you don't want to fight family over something like that, because they'll make sure you come up missing and never found again. So that's the reason why you make sure that you do things the right way. And so this is my show on scamming. Hopefully I have helped some of y'all. Hopefully y'all not offended about and everybody ain't a scammer. And I done gave y'all 2 stories. One happened today from Ghanaian men who were scammed by other women. One was scammed by a woman from the UK, 14,000, y'all. Ouch. Back in, I think it was 2015, 2014. And another one just got scammed by a US woman. He said he's out of about $5,000. That's still a lot of money. That's still a lot of money. So I think that everyone needs to listen to God. Whoever your God is, listen closely, because your God gave you the red flags and you ignored them. So that's all I'm going to keep saying. No, Henrietta, Elian Berry, no, they actually, in Africa, if they're having a land dispute with their own family, they kill them. They go in and shoot them and cut them up with axes or whatever. So a foreigner, you gonna come up missing. If your spouse has established a whole bunch of stuff in that country, he's sending money. Because see, a lot of times they not sending money home just to their family to spend. They're sending money home so their families can build hotels, build story buildings, start businesses, buy taxis. Because when they're done working in the U.S., they want to retire at home. And they want to, when they go home, to be able to live lavish and never have to do anything again. So they're building rental properties. They're building all kind of stuff so that when they go home, it's relaxed because they done worked hard in the U.S. And they are having land disputes amongst themselves with families to where family members are just like, forget it. Y'all can have it. I'll walk away, even though y'all know that this is my inheritance. Take it, because you ain't going to kill me over it. So literally, Henrietta, that is what happens in these foreign countries. And so when you see your spouse or whoever it is sending money home, they're not just sending it for the family to have. They're sending it with expectations that the family is overseeing the building, or, you know, building of buildings and rental homes, or overseeing the buying of, you know, different transportation vehicles for delivery or for, you know, taxi or anything like that, or overseeing that, you know, this business is started and funded so that when they get back home, their money pays them for their hard work in the U.S. But I tell women whose family members, whose husbands are from Africa, this: when your husband dies, you don't even have control of his body. His body goes back to Africa, to his family, to his tribe. So that's the reason why you need your citizenship to whatever country he's from. Because you can be buried with your husband if you're a citizen. If you're not, they're not going to ship your body back over there, and they sure ain't going to bury it with your husband. So hopefully I helped a lot of people. If you missed any of the show, we covered all types of scamming, not just LDR romance scamming. But the one thing I want you all to always ask yourself, where, and I don't care if you're Ghanaian dating an American, or UK, or Germany, or Canadian. I don't care if you're African dating out of your country. What were those people doing for money before they met you? Send no money and don't sign your signature. This is the Lyne't Gray Show. I will see you all. Well, I'll see you all briefly next week because we have Narrow Beam of Light. He is coming in to host Narrow Beam of Light, and he's done he hosted my show in 2019. When I was in Ghana in 2019. So he will come in. He will be here next week hosting my show. And I'm just so grateful. I thank you all. Hopefully this show helps someone. Please share this show. And please, when you share the show, let people know that this is a show informing you of how to possibly not be scammed. We cannot prevent all scamming. Because I tell people the biggest scam ever walking is a single parent. Because that man scammed you out of your womb, made you believe that y'all was going to be together. My ex-husband, we had these extra kids, and I didn't even want them. And then we planned them out, had them, and he got a divorce, and he tells our kids, well, I got a family to take care of now. Because I divorced him. That's the biggest scam walking. You scam me out of years of my life. You literally scam me out of parenting. You get to walk away, and then when they get grown, they gonna go back and want to be around dad. So I got to do all the work. I ain't mad about it, but it's still a scam. It's still a scam. You don't have to help do anything. You left me holding the bag, but then you get the benefits later. So if we start looking at single parenting as a scam, I think a bunch of us, will make wiser decisions in who we marry and have children with, or who we have children with, period. But this is the Lyne't Gray Show here on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, Kansas City's first global community radio station. Like I said, I will possibly see y'all very briefly next week. But Narrow Beam of Light will be hosting this show. So y'all tune in. He's got some amazing stuff for you. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.